You know what the difference is between a lion and a house cat. It's not the size. It's not the roar. It's the silence before the hunt. The lion doesn't waste energy chasing everything that moves. The lion waits, watches, calculates. And when the moment is right, only when the moment is right, that's when it moves. That's power. That's precision. That's what I'm talking about today. Because some of you are living like house cats, reacting to everything, jumping at every sound, scratching at every door. And you wonder why you're exhausted. You wonder why you're empty. Let me tell you something about silence. Real silence. Not the silence of fear. Not the silence of submission. I'm talking about the silence of strength. The silence of knowing who you are so deeply that you don't need to prove it to anybody. You see, the world will test you. People will provoke you. Life will throw chaos at your feet and wait to see if you'll pick it up and throw it back. And most people do. Most people react. Most people let the chaos dictate their next move. But not you. Not anymore. Because here's what I need you to understand. Your reaction is your power. And when you give it away cheaply, when you hand it over to every person who knows how to push your buttons, you become a slave. You become predictable. You become controllable. And a controllable person cannot fulfill their destiny. I want you to think about water for a second. Water is soft. Water is quiet. You can put your hand in it and it doesn't resist you. But water will carve through mountains. Water will reshape the earth. Not by force, not by noise. By consistency. By patience. By moving with purpose even when nobody's watching. That's what you need to become. Not hard, not loud, but unstoppable. You think silence is passive. You think detachment means you don't care. No. Detachment means you care so much about your mission that you refuse to be distracted by things that don't serve it. You care so much about your peace that you won't let anyone rent space in your mind without your permission. You care so much about your future that you won't gamble it on a momentary emotion. I've seen people lose everything, because they couldn't control their tongue for 10 seconds. I've seen destinies derailed because somebody let their ego write a check their spirit couldn't cash. And I've seen people walk into their purpose, into wealth, into influence, into love, simply because they learned one thing: how to be still. Stillness is not inactivity. Stillness is strategy. Stillness is observation. Stillness is the posture of someone who knows that not every battle is theirs to fight. Not every argument is theirs to win. Not every offense is theirs to address. Because when you're moving towards something real, when you're building something that matters, you don't have time to stop and defend yourself to people who don't even understand the mission. Let me ask you something. How many times have you been pulled off course because you were busy explaining yourself? How many times have you lost focus because you were trying to prove something to somebody who didn't even believe in you? How many opportunities have you missed because you were stuck in a conversation that should have ended 5 minutes after it started? You've got to learn to let people misunderstand you. You've got to learn to let people underestimate you. You've got to learn to let people talk about you while you're working. Because here's the truth. While they're talking, you're building. While they're gossiping, you're growing. While they're loud, you're learning. And when the season shifts, and it will shift, they're going to look up and wonder how you got so far ahead. Chaos is a test. And most people fail it because they think the test is about how much you can endure. It's not. The test is about how much you can ignore, how much you can rise above, how much you can remain anchored when everything around you is shaking. The greatest leaders in history were not the loudest. They were the calmest. They were the ones who could sit in the fire and not burn. They were the ones who could be surrounded by madness and still access clarity. And that's what I'm calling you into today. Not just success, not just accomplishment, but mastery. Mastery over yourself. Because you can't control what people say. You can't control what people do. You can't control the storms that come. But you can control your response. And your response will determine your result. Every single time. So the next time someone tries to provoke you, remember the lion. The next time chaos knocks on your door, remember the water. The next time your emotions try to hijack your destiny, remember who you are. Remember what you're building. Remember that silence is not surrender, it's dominance. It's you telling the universe, I am not moved by what I see. I am moved by what I believe. And when you live from that place, when you operate from that frequency, you become untouchable, not because nothing can reach you, but because nothing can control you. Silence is not weakness. It is the fortress of the disciplined mind. Those who can remain still in the storm possess a power that the chaotic can never touch. Your ability to withhold reaction is the ultimate demonstration that you are governed by purpose, not by circumstances. See, the world has taught you wrong. The world has made you think that if you don't respond immediately, if you don't clap back, if you don't defend yourself in the moment, then somehow you're soft. Somehow you're afraid. But that's a lie designed to keep you reactive, to keep you small, to keep you operating at a frequency where other people control your emotions. Real strength isn't in the swing. Real strength is in the restraint. It's in knowing you could respond but choosing not to because you're protecting something bigger than your ego. When you master silence, you master yourself. And when you master yourself, you master your world. Think about it. Every time you've reacted out of anger, out of hurt, out of pride, where did it take you? Did it elevate you? Did it advance your purpose? Or did it set you back? Did it drain your energy? Did it steal your peace? Most of the time, our reactions don't serve us. They serve our pain. They serve our insecurity. They serve the version of us that hasn't healed yet. But a disciplined mind knows the difference between what deserves a response and what deserves to be ignored. A disciplined mind understands that silence is a weapon. It's a shield. It's a strategy. When you refuse to engage with chaos, you starve it. When you refuse to match someone's energy, you force them to rise or reveal themselves. And in that space, in that sacred pause, you create room for clarity. You create room for wisdom. You create room for God to move on your behalf. Because sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is absolutely nothing. That's not passivity. That's precision. That's purpose in motion. Detachment is the language of the divine. When you stop being moved by every wind that blows, when you stop dancing to every drum that beats, you align yourself with a higher frequency. One where clarity lives, where vision sharpens, and where your true assignment becomes unmistakable. Let me tell you what detachment really means. It doesn't mean you don't care. It doesn't mean you're cold or disconnected from life. It means you care so deeply about what matters that you refuse to waste your emotional currency on what doesn't. It means you've learned to distinguish between what's temporary and what's eternal, between what's noise and what's signal, between what's a distraction and what's your destiny. The divine operates in stillness. The divine speaks in whispers. And if you're always rattled, always reactive, always emotionally entangled in every drama that crosses your path, you will never hear it. You will never see what you're truly called to do because you'll be too busy putting out fires that were never yours to extinguish in the first place. Detachment is how you create sacred space. It's how you protect your vision from being contaminated by opinions that don't matter and circumstances that are only temporary. When you detach, something shifts. You start seeing people for who they really are, not who you hoped they'd be. You start seeing situations for what they really are, not what you wish they were. You start moving with intention instead of emotion, with strategy instead of impulse, with faith instead of fear. And that right there, that's when you become dangerous. Not dangerous to others, but dangerous to the limitations that have been holding you back. The world wants you attached to outcomes, attached to approval, attached to control. Because when you're attached, you're anxious, you're desperate, you're easy to manipulate. But when you detach, when you surrender the need to force things, when you trust the process more than you trust your panic, you step into a flow that the attached will never understand. You step into peace that surpasses understanding. So I'm going to leave you with this. Right now, in this very moment, you have a choice. You can keep living reactively, letting every storm shake you, letting every voice move you, letting every emotion control you. Or you can decide, right here, right now, that you are done being a slave to chaos. You can decide that your peace is more valuable than being right. That your purpose is more important than being heard. That your destiny is too precious to be derailed by distractions. The power you've been searching for outside of yourself, it's already in you. It's in your ability to be still when everything around you is screaming. It's in your capacity to detach when everything in you wants to hold on. It's in your discipline to remain silent when your ego wants to speak. You are not who they say you are. You are not defined by their opinions. You are not limited by their understanding. You are a force. You are a lion. You are water carving through mountains. And the moment you embrace the power of calm over chaos, the moment you unlock the hidden strength in your silence, everything changes. So go. Walk in that authority. Move in that peace. Operate from that place of divine detachment. And watch how the universe bends to meet you where you stand. Not where you're shouting. Not where you're scrambling. But where you're still. Where you're certain. Where you're unmovable. That's your power. Now go use it.